Welcome back to the Sooner Saloon. I'm here with Emerson Campbell. Taylor can't make it tonight, and we're here to break down Oklahoma versus Oklahoma State. Oklahoma loses the game 33-37. Goes in Oklahoma State's favor. You know, Oklahoma State's a really good team. They've played a hell of a season, but, it seemed like it was up for grabs the whole game. I hate to lose that way. It was a heartbreaker. We had a chance there at the end. We were driving down the field. Like you said, Emerson, we had 4 opportunities to get it in the end zone. We just couldn't get it done. So, just a very up and down game.
Yeah, honestly, you look at the whole effort, and it came down to a couple plays throughout the game, and especially in the second half that Oklahoma State made that Oklahoma didn't. And you can say what you want about the refs, but yeah, Oklahoma had multiple opportunities throughout the course of that game to take control and take the lead back, and because their defense played well enough to win the game, in my opinion, they did.
They did. They did.
And you take away, the 99-yard kick return from Oklahoma State, huge play. Huge play. Both teams had a muff punt that led to a touchdown. Oklahoma's came late in the game, whereas Oklahoma State's came earlier, so they had time to overcome it. Just a very incomplete game, especially on the special team side and the offensive side. Like, the offensive line, it seemed like, was getting blown up the entire game. Always in the backfield. Caleb Williams, I thought, actually played really well, given the circumstances. Oklahoma State broke the single-season sack record for school history in the second quarter of the game. So, and they continued to give Caleb Williams problems all day.
They came to this game leading the nation in sacks. This is what you expected. Yeah. And we have such a weak offensive line. That's been our struggle this season. But if you told me we'd have over 250 passing yards and over, 150 rushing yards, considering Oklahoma State threw 2 interceptions to Woody Washington, missed a field goal, and muffed a punt that led to an Oklahoma touchdown, I would say Oklahoma wins this game indefinitely. We also, led in time of possession with over 35 minutes compared to Oklahoma State's 24. And I think discipline was the factor here. Oklahoma had about 9 penalties for about 100 yards, and that's what it came down to, and that's what got us beat, in my opinion.
Yeah, penalties played a huge part in the game. I know it got Oklahoma into some holes a couple times behind the chains, and then, I don't know if it was due to injury, but you see about halfway through the first quarter, Eric Swinson come in at left tackle, and he plays pretty much the entire rest of the half. And then Robinson comes back in, I think that's who it was. But it's like we're still having inconsistencies at offensive line. And yes, Rain was hurt, so Conjal was playing. But we still don't. It's the last game of the regular season, and we still don't have our offensive line set. And we're still having false starts. And Kennedy Brooks had a great day running the ball. He was extremely. He slipped tackles constantly. He was physical. So I thought he had a nice game as well. But,
dude,
Oklahoma State was ready to play for the entirety of the game, all 4 quarters.
It would be 3 linemen rushing against our 5, and they'd get to him. It's ridiculous. Yeah. It was our absolute weakness all season long. If Baylor loses in the Big 12 championship, maybe we can still get into a Fiesta Bowl game. But this game was just so up and down. If you laid it out for me and told me the stats of this game, I would say Oklahoma wins this all day. And I don't know how many times we're in the neutral zone or jumping off sides. Just discipline was not there. And it's unbelievable. So, and then, you have Eric Gray back there, muffed a punt last week. Like you said, he muffed a punt against Kansas State. What was wrong with Marvin Mims? Maybe it's just Eric Gray is a good player on the team. He needs more touches. But, it's also in the 5-yard line. You let it bounce. Could be a complete different game. In the second half, I believe it was the second half, there was 6 straight plays where the Oklahoma offense was penalized. Just completely tanked the drive. And about 3 of those were first down plays called back. And it's just like the execution wasn't there. Special teams wasn't there. And
those were all plays that like Kennedy Brooks would break a run for like 17 yards or something. And you're like, let's go. And then it's called back. And you're like, oh my God. Yeah. And I remember that. And it just happened over and over and over again. Yeah.
It was ridiculous. And what, I'm not saying the refs are the reason why we lost the game. We lost the game and didn't win it ourselves. I think we beat ourselves. Give credit to Oklahoma State because they're a fantastic team. They're a really good football team. But hold on here. Into the play, it's obvious that the play's over. There's a huge pile. The whistle's blown. And like number 16 or something from Oklahoma State comes and shoves Kennedy Brooks, and maybe he flopped, whatever. But still, it was clearly after the play. They throw the flag, and then they discuss it and pick it up after they just penalized OU for 6 plays in a row. Have your own opinion about it.
Yeah, say what you want about it, but Oklahoma knew everyone. First of all, they've won the freaking league the last 6 years in a row.
Right.
And second of all, they're leaving for the SEC. This was bound to happen at some point. And what better than the last game of the season in a top 10 matchup with college football playoff implications? That's how the Big 12 is going to, that's how it's going to play out.
Big 12 refs have always sucked.
So,
say that.
Yeah. But I'll also say you're never going to get a flag you're never going to draw a flag by just going up with one arm to try and catch the ball. You're never going to draw a flag like that. So don't expect
How about this? How about when Caleb Williams has that probably 50-yard run at the end of the game and he gets hit out of bounds? It's a clear hit out of bounds. If Oklahoma does that, I'm just saying we're getting penalized for it. It is what it is. It is what it is.
Probably.
It could help, but, we still had 4 tries to get it in the end zone. We couldn't make it happen.
Yeah. And I mean, I thought Trayvon West had a good game. The H-backs had the H-backs were the ones that were getting it rolling in the beginning. I mean, you have Jeremiah Hall with the huge play on the opening drive for 50 yards.
The block and release was there all day. And Stogner had a huge catch in the end zone.
Stogner.
How about that throw, though, by Williams? Freshman quarterback.
Nice. And that's a great timing and accurate, right on the goal line. Only he could get it, and he uses his big frame. That's
with pressure.
What we've expected from Stogner, and it's great to see him back. Braden Willis, a similar play, runs the seam down the left side, and Caleb Williams puts it in a bucket where only he can get it, makes a great play. And, it's just in a game that with this big of implications against an opponent this good, because, say what you want, Oklahoma State, congrats to you. Great game. They came to play. And honestly, I'm rooting for them the rest of the way. Might as well. I don't know.
I wish I could say the same.
We'll see how I feel. We have other things to discuss,
Emerson,
but that'll come later on.
It's like me trying to root for Kansas City when they're in the Super Bowl. I couldn't do it. And I think my heart's going to feel the same way if Oklahoma State.
Even if it's against Tom Brady, come on.
Hey, he's at the Bucs. If he was at the Patriots, yeah, I'd probably go for Kansas City, but I would be disappointed in that whole Super Bowl entirely.
Well, that's why I'm hoping for a Chiefs Cardinals Super Bowl this year, and it's shaping up like it could happen. I don't know. There's a lot of season left, but anyway, yeah.
Well, I mean that.
Perry on Winfrey had a great. I'll say. I'm going to try and keep it positive a little bit. I'm going to try and give some credit where credit's due. Perry on Winfrey forces a fumble on the goal line. Huge safety play. So I thought he played a great game. Woody Washington, like you said, 2 interceptions, had a great game. I thought the defensive line altogether, was very physical.
Hey,
Spencer Sanders just made a couple plays with his feet. Nick Benito had a great game. Oh my goodness,
dude! A strip on the quarterback on Spencer Sanders. If we can jump on that football, it's bedlam. It's bedlam. That's all I gotta say.
His bend is so impressive. On that one where he just got Spencer Sanders' ankle, but it affected him, and I can't remember if he got the sack or what, but I mean, man, he is just a specimen on the edge, dude, and he's going to be a high round draft pick. That's for sure. Especially if he can put on some more weight in the off season, if he does go to the draft, whatever. But anyway, and we will be getting into that now because the season's over. But I thought Kennedy Brooks had a great day running the ball. Trayvon West, like I said. I have a question. Why isn't Marvin Mims getting the ball? How many catches did Marvin Mims have? 2 receptions or 2 targets and for 4 yards. Wow.
Yeah, man.
Why is he not getting the ball?
Have been down this year, and it's. I don't know. I don't know if it's they can't get any separation or we don't have time to get them the football. I haven't seen this in the last 5 years I've watched Oklahoma.
Yeah.
But we did have Mark Andrews, CeeDee Lamb, Marquise Brown, and the list goes on. So.
But if you look at the roster, you still think the same. Oh, you got Jaden Hazelwood, Mario Williams, Kennedy Brooks, Marvin Mims. It's these guys should produce. Eric Gray, but I saw all over Twitter that Theo Weiss was suited up before the game, and
he was suited up. I saw him on the field, but I never saw him, getting starting reps.
Yeah, why wasn't he? At least try and get him a little bit of run time. A couple plays. Try and get him of 1 or 2 designed catches to get him going.
Right.
It's the last game of the season. Might as well, right?
So that kind of wraps it up for me, though. I just feel like Oklahoma had so many opportunities to just put this thing away, but they never could. And, give credit when it's due. Hats off to Oklahoma State. They got it done. They're making the Big 12 championship. They can make a playoff run here. And kind of lays.
All they had to do is not blow it. With the way things are shaping up, who's to say who's playing in the Big 10 championship? All right, is it Michigan and who won? Wisconsin?
I'm not
or is
sure.
it Iowa?
I'm not sure, to be honest. But I think
if Michigan loses, Big Ten's out. Oklahoma State could be the number 3 team and play Cincinnati. And if that happens,
Oklahoma State could very well just jump Cincinnati due to their schedule.
Yeah. Yeah, they just beat Oklahoma, and now they got Baylor, who's going to be in the top 10. They beat K-State.
Yeah.
So,
well, that pretty much
it'll be interesting.
Do you have anything else, Emerson?
Can't win them all. It sucks. 6 times winning the Big 12 championship, and now we're not even here at the end. So it's going to be different for all of us. But I'm not sooner born or sooner bred, but I'll be sooner till I'm dead. So
all right.
That's it for me.
I guess that's an adios from the Sooner Saloon. So, Boomer Sooner.
Boomer.